Well, good morning, everybody. Well, we're down in my cold shop because in New Hampshire, it's raining and freezing. Blech. Well, as you can see, as of the last, I don't know, maybe we can call this a video log. That's about kind of what I'm thinking. The batteries ran out of my GoPro when I was saying goodbye. But last night, right before I stopped work, I brought the Coupe GT in that we're going to use for the A2 project. This will be the first time I taken a real look at the car. I just put it on the lift because the tires go down. What it is it's a non-sunroof coupe. And taking a look at it, one thing that believe it or not, I really liked was the 4 headlight conversion. I'm going to put that on the 4000 Quattro that I'm going to make an engine test bed car. I really like that, And those PL lights are going to go somewhere, but the front bumper is also going to go on the test bed car because that's in much better condition, I think, compared to the bumper that I have off the other 4000. Other than that, we got to take this one apart carefully because most of the interior parts are either going to go on an ERQ that I'm restoring or the Sport Quattro, and because they're pretty much a defined coupe setup, but they're all actually in really nice condition. There's no seats or anything like that, even though I assume there was a back seat with the car because when I bought it, what was in the picture and what it came with are two different things. But that's another story for another day. Other than that, we're going to put this thing up on the lift, and then we're going to take a look underneath it, see how badly rusted it is, and we'll go from there. Okay, I hope everybody can see this. We are now have the car up on the lift. What we got here is the horns look decent. The oil pan is painted yellow. Yeah, baby. Other than that, the frame rails look good. It looks like the subframe's been off, so the bolts, you'll be able to take them off. Yeah, it's not that crusty. It is crusty. I mean, the rockers are shit. That's pretty much, the rockers are completely gone. Not really a big deal. I'll use bits and pieces from the other one. We can also take a look around here. You got a catalytic converter. It's a universal cat. Flex pipe. Could all possibly be used on other projects. We got roundy pipes. We have stainless steel brake lines right here. Don't know what we're going to use them for, but we're going to use them. It appears the fuel lines look to be okay. The fuel pump looks okay, but I know it doesn't work because I didn't hear it working when I put it together trying to run it. The bolts look good. This fine. This is, crusty. Brake lines. Oh, this is a fuel line, and it's leaking because I did put fuel in it. The shocks are, the trunk, it's crusty. Look at this, we got a braided fuel line here. That's always a positive. We got a wicked cool stainless steel clamp here. This is smoking. And look at this exhaust tip. Yeah, baby, we're cruising down a roll tonight. Oh man. But other than that, I mean, these things make great for trailers. This is all rod. This is all going to be chopped out. I now have no inhibitions about slicing this car up. None whatsoever. I'm still sitting there trying to put my head around what how I'm going to be doing this first. But as you look, most of this is good, but for the most part, this is going to be chopped. So I think I'm going to have to chop it here where the seam lines up. I'll slice it down so we can put the tunnel in. And this is going to have to be cut right here all the way back to the trunk. And that's how we're going to spin it around here, spin the camera around here, and try and figure out, which way we're going to go with this. That I think is the process. All right, one thing I want to just show you out here is how to get the fuel lines off on the Audis. Most people look at them and just like, they try and rip the pieces off. So what I kind of tend to do, let me bring the camera over here, is I take a screwdriver, put it in this little slot because it's right there, Boom. That way you can just run straight down all of them. It's hard here to hold the camera and do this at the same time. I don't have any help here. See? And that's all you have to do. And that's one of the small tricks other than using a friggin' impact gun to get everything out of here. So. As you can see, it's our rat's nest. What I'm doing now is I'm pulling off the door panel. These door panels, as you can see, it's like most of the people who don't know what, you know, looking down the road do. They cut the shit out of things. This is going to be going into the A2 Quattro's for sale project because they're pretty much the same thing. And I'm just putting that one together with all my old parts. I mean, I've had 5 or 6 A2 Quattros. I can't even remember how many I've had. Tons of parts, and if I can put it all together, I just saw one sold for $50,000, and it wasn't that great. Really? You know? So if I can get 15 for a hack job that I put together, dude, I'm there. You know? But let's see about, I'm trying to just do a small thing on the oddball stuff that's that it takes to pull the Audi door panel off. Besides doing the clips down here, you know, oh, well, I guess I don't need to unscrew that. The funny thing was, this guy put in some power mirrors, and the power mirrors on this car, you can tell it was never had power mirrors, no hole in the armrest. And when you take the armrest off, you can see these little clips right here, right there. They go in like this, go in, then you bolt it to it. So whenever you take your Audi armrest off, you have to twist it to get these 2 blades right here, or 2 tabs, and pull it straight out. There's enough room, enough play, and you can do that. And this is, you know, this little trim piece right here is kind of movable. And also the screws for that are number 3, if I remember correctly. It's the big one, you know. And if you ever get a chance, eBay is wonderful for getting, you know, old German tools. You just have to know how to look for them. So right now, the only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the door panels off and pull the doors off, take the windows out, and hobble around and try and get the rest of the harness out and get that all on the floor and get this. Then we're going to show you the next step towards doing this. And the most intimidating step towards doing this, if I may say. Well, you can tell that somebody's been in here mucking about with it. There's supposed to be a plastic shield right here, which is for water. So the rain, when it comes down, drains out the drain holes down here. The condensation moisture doesn't destroy the cardboard on the back of those door panels. And as you can see, somebody has been in here, and speakers, blah blah, window motor. He actually put, you know, it's kind of funny. He actually had connectors here for the rear view mirror. And now the big thing is all of these clips, these little covers, you have to save. That's a necessity of everything. You have to save them because you're not going to find them. And even how horrible they are. It's like this one is missing, but I have another. one thing I wanted to show you, you take a look at this. This is a special screw. This is why you save them all. It's has a ridge on it where you can pop the cap on. It stays on there. Then you got to find the caps. But this one didn't have it, but I know I have some extras kicking around. So when I put it on the A2 Quattro, I can do that. There we go. And now we take our handy Tom Top tool that I got. Actually, these things have been working really well. I cannot believe it. I paid $6.98. That's with free shipping. They came all the way from China. I'm sitting going, wow, they look like Harbor Freight crap, so I figured I'd just give it a shot. I got them. It's like twice the deal Harbor Freight stuff is, and they work really nice. I used them a little bit here and there, and and again, they don't have any of the vapor barrier off on it. So, and one small tip, I'll put this back in here, is to, I'll show you, right down here. Oh, let's see, let's bring this over here, right down there. A jack and a piece of wood. You bring it over here, and these Craftsman jacks work freaking awesome. Over here, when you take the 4 bolts off, you have to release this. This thing doesn't drop down, so it doesn't crash down on you, and you have to pick it up and it bends stuff, and it's just terrible. So, but it's that's just a small little trick. Oh, one thing we forgot to do. The other side had a bolt on this one, where people cut it off, which everybody does. But this is how to get it out. There's 2 bolt, basically a door stopper. There's 2 bolts right here. There's this assembly right here clicks in to the actual pull out. This is how you get it out. You close the door a little bit, and you slide, you turn it, and it comes right out, just like that. These 2 rollers that it's on, and you'll see it's like a J hook, and all you do is it goes in here, it clicks in like this. To get it back out, you click out like that. I just want to show you that before I remove the door completely. A little bit more crispy than I thought, but it's going to be a replica rally car, so it's going to have a cage at least put in it. Over here, actually, another part of the Audi idiosyncrasies on these older Audis on how to get them off, or how to get parts taken off. If you take a look, these are the old struts right here. And usually there's like a small clip, like a nose ring clip that slides over on most of the more modern Audis. 1985 and up. On these old ones, they have a clip right here. It's like a small pin. Just have to pull this out. What happens is you just have to wiggle it. Nice and easy. You see, this is the pin. Let's see if I can bring this over here. This is a pin, very small. One thing these things really like to do is rust and break off. So if you have an older Audi and can actually take them off occasionally here and there, I would really, really suggest it. Because one thing what happens is these things love to rust in place. They break off, you can't pull it off, and can I get it? Yes, I am. Just have to go slow and wiggle it back and forth so it doesn't break off. That prevents this strut from being pulled off. Then you have to cut it off, which you kind of don't want to do. Come on. There. That's how long it takes. So just be patient. That's all it is. Remember to save them. Don't lose them. I don't think you can buy them anymore. out, cut the door panels out. All that's just minor stuff. There was nothing oddball about it, as in, you know, funky things to get off. You're going to have to break these clips because you just can't get a wrench in behind there to get that out, but at least mine just broke. I pretty much have all the wiring harness in the cabin, ready to pull the carpets out. But the only thing I wanted to explain a little bit is, like, I have this little bracket right here. This is for the fuse box, or the old one. What's going on is I have one wire, I think it's in this one right here, where it's plugs, that I have to pull out in order to fish it out and bring it all back through. It just, like, it's a real pain in the ass to do it, and generally they break because, you know, everything's so crunchy in there. That fuse box is not going to be there. So I hate to do it, but I'm cutting it. I'm just going to cut it, and that's it. No worries. And this part of the project is pretty much done, except for 4 bolts on the steering rack, and that'll come out and everything's out. Then we can push it back, make an assessment, and then start doing the funky cutting. Stuff that you guys want to see. All this stuff is just minor garbage. There we go. It's like everything. We are going to change gears again on how we're going to do everything. Now, walking over here, we got the other 4,000. It's in here. Drivetrain's pulled. Only thing I had really bad was this. This was bad right here. It doesn't go up into this floor pan. It's just this rail, so that'll be easily replaced. Going over here, the kid did a rust-free fiberglass repair right on the trunk. This is all muck, but you know, it's like everything that I've pulled on all of these cars is just weighs too much rust. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the body off of that one. I'm not going to cut the tunnel out or anything like that on this. I'll show you. Let's come over here and let's see what's going on. Okay, this is our change gears mode. Let me just bring that right there. Hopefully you see everything. This tub is really rusty on the bottom, and we have tons of plating, and I was just trying to figure out what is the best way to weld this thing up. Now, when we took apart the 4000 for the rear subframe on the Sport Quattro, I took this all up because I want to use the hinges for it. I had an idea of some of the hinges, but I'm not going to use it. But I was sitting here looking at it going, well, this looks awful familiar to this. And if you take a look, you bring this up, the hinges are exactly the same. The only thing that's different is you see this post right here goes out at an angle. At, you know, one angle for the straight back, and this post right here is taken back at another angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut straight here, you know, and on the other one cut same exact place, then use a sawzall to cut through all the way down to cut the front portion of this off. So we're going to mate it up so the doors will actually, this will all be 4,000 right here. Let's go over to here. We need this section for the coupe to fit in. I want to take this section out on this lower part all the way down to here, you know, because we're just going to weld things back in, and I want to sectionalize it out so it'll be easy to move around. On the quarters, bring it all the way over to here. On the quarters, what we're going to do today is, in order to cut this thing off, we have to take, these are the quarters that are going to be on the, and here's the ridge line right here. Right there. So what I want to do is I want to mark where these things will go. And if you take a look, it covers the entire thing. So what we want to do is, seeing how it covers the entire thing, we want to come in at least 3 inches, like this, all the way down here, to give us tons of room to mess about with it. Here's this line. come down 3 inches, well, 2.5, 3 inches, and run it all the way down here to a 3 inches from the top and run it back. So this is all the stuff we don't need. We can clear this out, then we can look at the inside of the, oh, let me move this over. Then we can cut this all out and then find out what's inside and where we should cut with the Sawzall, because I want to take this roof and portion up. I was going to brace it with welding, but you know, this is going to be a file to fit type operation. It's like the old Llama pistol, old Llama 45s from the 80s. You know, it's a file to fit operation. Whether or not it's good or bad, it's a crapshoot. So I'm just trying to figure out the least amount of places. Plus, we're going to cage the car. Seeing how we're going to cage the car, the outer structure, yes, it's going to be very important for having the door pillar, the B pillar, stationary, and the A pillar completely welded to the front, and the C pillar welded to the actual arch. Yes, but we're going to give it extra bracing with the roll cage. On the Sport Quattro, I'm probably going to do a little bit more fiddling and a lot more bracing. So let me show you for cutting this thing off, and we'll go right on. Well, this is the down and dirty panel removal. It's not pretty, it's not, but it's cheap. Don't use up anything, just use these cutters. The good thing about having rust is you got places to put your friggin' Sawzall. Well, let's see our treasures. Look at that. Oh, man. Well, let's go over here and see this. Well, when you buy a car from a stereo guy, this is the insulation that they put in. You gotta love it, huh? I think it's the insulation they put in. It looks like Dynamat to me, but or I could have used some roofing tar. But it's a lot of crap. More shit that I have to throw away. Oh God, this is horrible. You gotta wear gloves. Ah. This is miserable. Ugh. we have the cut right here that's going to be taking place. I'm going to start where the biggest rust hole is and run it straight across. Like these supports I don't really even care about. But the support right here, then on the other 4,000, this part, that side's crushed, so we're just going to run a cut right along the seam. We're going to cut straight across, cut the pillars, and there we go. Done. Now let's see if the shit box can lift up.